Hey gang, Hammercell here. This game I played kind of late on a Tuesday night, and we were going to have the 091. Well, that was loud. The 091 patch in just a few hours. So I really needed to get to sleep, so I just set this up to record, and I figured I can add in voice after the fact. So that's what I'm doing. Alright, let's take a look at the matchmaking. Obviously I'm in the Shimakaze. We've got one CV per side. There's a Des Moines on the enemy team. So a little bit of radar to contend with, but it's not horrible. A Daring and a Shimakaze. Now normally on this map, as you probably are aware, if a radar cruiser spawns, it'll do what the Seattle's doing. You know, the Seattle's going to come up here and sit under the very edge of this island, and the Des Moines is probably going to do the exact same thing if you spawn on this side, on the North Island. Now, aware of that, I'm in a position accordingly. You'll also notice that I did not jump out to a quick start and rush toward the cap. I patiently waited and allowed a cruiser with some AA to get out there ahead of me. And yes, he's taking a little bit of fire, but it's not too bad. And I'm still keeping an eye on those planes and trying to stay near enough to the Seattle Alsace de Grosse to ensure that their AA bubbles cover my location. And that is including my air spotting radius, which you can see as a little greenish highlighted area around my ship on the mini-map. So, you know, the enemy CV, of course, he's doing his job. He's looking for me, or RZ-23. Not seeing anything, he took off, but I'm sure he's aware that it's very likely there's a DD out here. But I need to get a little bit closer in order to be able to have any chance of landing torpedoes. Their Amalfi is pushing up a little bit. Got de Grosse able to get shots on him, and you'll see the radio location indicator, which is that little it's two curved lines, kind of center screen. Just, well, depending upon which way I'm looking, just above. There's the Daring. It's aimed just at the Daring. So I knew he was there, and I was kind of angling to protect myself against torpedoes. Now I saw him turning to pencil up and make himself harder to spot or hit. So I knew I had at least a few seconds before torpedoes arrived. But I wanted to get out here and actually have a look, make sure he didn't stick around, because he's got about 3 minutes worth of hydro. Granted, it's got short range, but if I sat there in that smoke, he could push right up toward my smoke, use the smoke to hide from all of my friendlies, and just lay waste to me. I did manage to land a couple of torpedoes on the Amalfi, and a little parting shot there on the Daring. And I'll go dark, because you can see there are quite a few ships over there that are going to throw shells my way. Now, a little bit farther on here, you'll see in the chat that I'm getting some pressure from some of these guys that are all grouped up down here to get in the cap. In fact, you may have already seen somebody saying, "Cap, Shima," or something to that effect. I know there's a Des Moines just north of that island, like I was talking about a minute ago. So when I go into this cap, it is almost certain that I'm going to get, the DM is going to activate his radar. We're not in danger of losing this cap unless the daring pushes into it. And you've heard me if you've watched any of my videos. Now you can see I'm in radar range right now, the Des Moines. You've heard me if you've watched any of my prior videos say that sometimes it's very important, and there's the radar. Just kind of teasing it out here. I'm going to accelerate forward, angle up, and try and just avoid as much incoming fire as I can. But I know once this radar ends, I'll have a little bit of a break. And you can see there are the torpedoes. Maybe from Amalfi. Did I have 4%? Anyway, I'm out of radar range. Got all my torpedoes off. What I've tried saying twice already is if you've heard me talk about playing a destroyer in particular, but really any ship that's important. Very often it's more important to stay alive in order to be able to contribute later than to sacrifice yourself early in an attempt to cause damage. And so that's really all I'm doing here. We have a cap. We actually have someone contesting the other cap. And this cap is as yet uncontested by the daring. So there's really no point to my sacrificing myself by pushing into the cap and trying too hard to secure it.
Concentrate fire on the enemy warship.
I can stay at range, use my torpedoes, and then use my guns against the daring if he gets close enough. I outspot him, not by much, but by a little. So I should be able to dictate the terms of any engagement. Now, I was really hoping to see all of those ships down there push up around this corner a little bit. And if they had, of course I would have pushed out ahead of them to spot for torpedoes. But instead, as you can see, they kind of rotated and headed the other way, other than our Yamato. And if you were watching the chat, our DeGrossa, he said, that's why I didn't push, because none of our guys were shooting. Well, and I have to say that, yeah, that's true. Everybody's doing the best that they can, but when they all just kind of sat there, that rarely ends well. And it's not that I don't have any appreciation for playing a battleship, because I do. I have lots of them. But as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ships this side for the red guys, and we're down to 3 now. So definitely I'm in a position where I need to play conservatively. Now the Yamato goes down, it's just Seattle and me against these 6 ships. And I need to get back out of radar range before I take any significant damage. And Brindisi in particular can be a very nasty customer. Okay. Nobody can see me now. Our Graf Zeppelin doing some important work. He took out the Shimakaze. Great job. And at this point I'm thinking really it's time to kite. There are just too many red ships. And although I do have torpedoes back up here soon, they know I'm here. They're going to try and angle accordingly, or at least they should be. There's the Des Moines, still have to watch for his radar, and he's pushing up. Or you can see our Seattle's just, I'm out of here. Can't blame him. And I'm throwing torpedoes out there, hoping DeGrossa will be expecting me to be on the 10 line or maybe north a little bit. Obviously, I really couldn't be, or the Musashi would be picking me up by now. I'm hoping they're going to be shooting at the Des Moines, of course. And you saw somebody else ping the DeGrossa. Well, no reason for that. I think I've pretty well beat up the DeGrossa. Needed one more torpedo on him. Now somebody could finish him off would be great. Venezia's smoked up behind me here. So we've got two ships on the enemy team that are just about dead. So if you're watching the chat, you'll see me. There we go. Finish those nearly dead. And our Seattle goes down. And there DeGrossa gets finished off. Now that Des Moines, I was really hoping I might catch him and the Musashi, but our Venezia took him out. So now I'm just keeping an eye on the Musashi. That's 2 hits on Musashi. And you can see, in the meantime, the big red push south through sea allowed my teammates that abandoned sea to scoot around and help at Bravo. But now the Daring and Brindisi, they will be pushing, and I know that. I've got 34 seconds until I have more torps, but still have almost 20,000 hit points. And I know that I can use my guns and I might be able to slow down the Daring. There's the Daring. Pushes up just a hair more. There he is. He's smoking for his Brindisi. Now at this point we have a 1-ship advantage. We have a pretty big, I mean, roughly 400 point lead. A cap lead. Things are looking pretty good for us. And I think it's time for me to just finish off the Daring. Those are dual purpose torps. Maybe we get Daring, maybe we get Brindisi. But Daring is visible again, and I can finish him off here. So I do. Now the nearest ship to me, of course, is going to be Brindisi, so that's what the radio location lines are telling me, is that he's there. The enemy CV, thank goodness, has not been over here for a while. And right now I see that the enemy CV is going to try and bomb our Stalingrad. So I'm just trying to get out of detectability range. I don't want to get spotted by the planes. I want the Brindisi guessing about where I'm at. And there's a hit on the Brindisi, one of those dual purpose torpedoes. Musashi is pretty much out of my reach at this point. So now I really am just thinking I can harass Brindisi if he stays this way. If he pushes forward, he's got to contend with Amalfi and Stalingrad, and our CV is keeping the enemy Musashi busy. And I might have an opportunity to secure this last cap. At this point, we're a 550 point lead. And all I'm doing there is just trying to indicate where my radio location is telling me the Brindisi's at. So Amalfi and Stalingrad can set up. Down goes Musashi. Stalingrad makes a good shot there. Picks him off at long range. And I'm just trying to get eyes on Brindisi so our guys know where he's at. See where his guns are aiming. They're not aiming at me, so I'm going to go ahead and shoot, because obviously he's running around the island there. And every little chip damage that I can contribute might help their Stalingrad. I realize he's probably going to turn out, but on the off chance that he comes around the island this way, I want him to have an ugly, welcoming committee. Now you notice I'm being very careful with my torpedoes. I'm making sure the Stalingrad is not turning into them before I throw them all out there. And I'll be able to secure this cap. And really, just in terms of contribution, that's about it for me. And really, this is about it for the game. So I will go dark at this point and just let you watch the last little bit. Thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate it. This is actually my personal best in terms of points scored in a game ever. So I'm pretty excited about that. Thanks again. I'll see you next time.
対応完了しました。